Hello and welcome to this presentation where we'll walk through the Autoscholars Registration Advisor. The Registration Advisor helps both staff and students navigate the complex labyrinth of prerequisites and co-requisites associated with our coursework, and it shows us a path all the way to a final graduation. Registration rules can be quite complicated and requires such close checking of the academic records that it challenges the human capacity to do it consistently and well. Mistakes are being made, and we are increasingly at risk of litigious actions for inconsistent application of our own rules. In this example, we see how complicated the rules can get. In the simplest case, we possibly have just the one prerequisite. Most of the time, however, we will have more than one prerequisite, and we can connect them using logical AND operations or possibly OR operations where there are multiple possibilities for satisfying the criterion. Then it might be that there are specific values that we need to pass with more than 60% in one course and 40% in another course. Then it might be that there's another set of conditions which also satisfy the requirements. You may also have summaric criteria. For example, you need to have completed all first-year modules and then a certain number of credits of all the modules in second year. Then we realize that even within a combination, there are sub-possibilities. Here we see that there are 3 possibilities, but within each one, there are even more options. In principle, this could be very deeply nested logic. We also have the possibility of co-requisites, which means that to register for one subject, you also have to register for some other subjects at the same time. This becomes complicated when the other subjects have very different prerequisite requirements. All this can happen in the context of a single course. We also have to register students at the start of the year, and that means registering the students for both semesters in the year. At the start of the year, we don't have data about the performance in the first semester, and yet we have to try and project into the second semester all the possibilities that could have happened in the first semester. Additionally, we have the complication that together with the core courses, we also have core elective courses. That is, there's a defined set of courses from which students must choose a limited set of credits. We then also have free electives, which means students must complete a minimum number of credits of courses outside of the core or core elective courses. If we think that at registration, all academic staff are successfully navigating all these rules correctly and giving accurate advice 100% of the time, we are just deluding ourselves. To automate the registration advising, we hop over to the Autoscholar editor and we enter our list of courses that pertain to that academic program. We can specify the credits, the academic year of study, we can specify a description of the course and all the details needed for us to connect that to the academic program. We can also specify the pre- and co-requisite requirements in the object editor. And with our courses defined, we can go ahead and define our academic program structures. Here we can see some degree programs, and we can edit this to add all the core courses and core elective courses that we need to add in the various academic years of study in this program. We can specify the role of a course in an academic program. That is it a core course, a core elective, or a free elective? And we can specify the nominal academic year of study of that course in that degree program. With the metadata of our academic program now captured, we can go ahead and look at the registration advice. Please note that the profile we'll be looking at here is taken from a real student's data, but we've masked out the names and shifted the results slightly to preserve the privacy. The system first shows us the current academic records, but mapped against the program structure. In other words, instead of being a simple chronological listing, we can now see clearly where the gaps are in the student's completion of the degree. We already see that there have been errors in the past. The student did not complete all the required second year courses in 2020, but no one seems to have required the students to complete them in 2021. We can also see that certain courses, which are prerequisites to third and fourth year courses, have been failed, and there will be significant complications in this registration. Scrolling down, we can see that there are no fourth year courses that have been attempted as yet. Here's what the system is recommending for 2022. The courses which were not passed in 2021 or 2020 even have to be cleared up. There is also a course which the student is just now senior enough to undertake. In addition to these courses, the system also shows the courses that it is not recommending that the student undertake. The student can click on any of these courses and it shows the reason why the system is not recommending registration. In some cases, the student is simply not yet senior enough. The student has not passed enough semesters to enter that course, or there might be more specific reasons why a course should not be attempted as yet. Overall, however, the 2022 registration advice is trying to get the student on track with a fairly good level of completion. The system goes further than this by predicting the future registrations by assuming that the student will pass all the courses that it is recommending for registration in 2022. So assuming that the student is going to pass these courses, it's able to determine what the 2023 advice will be as well. In this year, the student completes all third year courses, but would be rather lightly loaded if that was the only thing to be accomplished. So the system also considered the fourth year courses and figured out that there were some courses which could be cleared in this year as well. This then lightens the load for the crucial final year in 2024 on the courses with more stringent requirements. For the sake of simplicity, I haven't showed the elective courses, but these are also accounted for. Overall then, the system is able to respect the registration rules and still try to maximize the number of courses that the student can register for. In terms of our future developments, number one, the assumption that the student will complete all courses to project the future registrations can be too optimistic. It is fairly easy to set up the system to determine the change in years to graduation if specific courses are not passed. This can then be used by a student to understand the importance of maintaining the performance. In the same vein, it is relatively easy to evaluate the impact of performance level changes on the student progression rates. We can directly use this method to evaluate the sensitivity of our graduation rates to the course pass rates. We can also grant concessions to break the rules and allow students to carry courses to some extent that they don't have prerequisites for. It is possible to review a student's records to determine the likelihood that such a strategy will succeed rather than overloading the student. It would be a classic application of machine learning. Granting concessions and probing our rules are important ways to evolve our programs. This is how we determine new and better ways of positioning our curricula. Overall then, recording the academic program metadata in the Scholar Cloud opens various possibilities for optimizing our student registrations. Thanks kindly for listening.